what prompted the thought behind the email that I sent was that someone had said there's only 39 more business days in the year. And I thought about that and I go, gosh, I've never thought, other than when you write a real estate contract, there's certain things that say business days versus calendar days, or at least in our California contracts, they delineate that. But I was really, let's see. Yeah, Carla, there nobody ever gets dropped from the list, but maybe spam or something, but definitely email Gina@rickjiha.com and she can confirm it for you. It's GEENA@rickjiha.com. But what really blew me away was that I think most of you know what a business day is. It's a legal term for no Saturday, Sunday, or holiday. Okay, so for instance, next week, Monday through Friday, there are 4 business days. Does anyone know why?
I do.
What is it, Cindy?
It is Veterans Day on the 11th.
Which is Thursday, right? So that would still, in legal terms, be 4 business days because it's a federal holiday, right? So the main thing that I want you guys to know about is that affects our thinking, especially when we hear it from other people. But if you read mine, I said, oh, but there's 56 more days of the year starting today, 56. That's a heck of a lot more than 39, right? And if you do the math, that's, let's see, 16. That's 41% more than the 39. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's a big, big difference. And if you're thinking that I have 56 more days left in the year, and then instead of saying what are the business days, right? Because if you look at Christmas, New Year's, Kwanzaa, Diwali, or I think they pronounce it Diwali, and all of those different holidays, like I'm not even mentioning all of them, Hanukkah, whatever. Everybody's going to look at the 56 days differently and decide which ones they are. All I care about for you is what are you deciding for you? I have to decide for me which days I'm going to work. I'm taking probably more days off between now and January 3rd than I have in a while. And I know me, I'll probably, like some people want to go to work and sneak off and have some personal time. I typically have some this month or next month, I'm going to say, I'm going to sneak away from my personal time to do a little work. But what I'm saying is that if you, hey, Andre, thanks for joining us, buddy. If you look at 56 days left and then you subtract the days you are committed to being 100% focused on everything but work. It's a backwards way of looking at it, but it's very important right now to take out your calendar of 2 months, really look at it and decide, decide which days you will be committed to everything but work. So shopping, eating, preparing food, taking concentrated, committed time with your family, children, godchildren, grandchildren, whatever it is. And in your mind, you're working hard. In your mind, you're working hard so that you are not doing that thing that everybody does, which is when I'm at work, I'm thinking of my family and why aren't I there? And when I'm with my family, I'm thinking about work and why aren't I there? We really are not going to have a great time and a really wonderful last couple of months of the year unless you're committed. If you saw what I wrote, and it's okay if you didn't, but I said, are you busy starting to diet now so that you can eat more during the holidays? Okay. Are you, were you busy with a particular client and you haven't looked up? Are you planning how to sell 2 or 3 more houses before the end of the year so you can get some paychecks in January? Everybody's got something different going on. You have to remember this about the holiday season. No matter how intellectual you might be, meaning brain intelligent, emotions creep in. All of you have lived a full life, and there are things that have happened in your life that caused an emotional effect on you sometime between before Halloween till mid-January. So say that 3 months, what isn't even 3 months? It's about 2.5 months, because maybe you had a relative pass away and you remember the first Christmas or the first holiday that you didn't have them, or you got in an argument with somebody one holiday and it always comes back. We were in a restaurant last night eating in an area called Spanish Bay, California, and it's near Pebble Beach. And all of a sudden we're like just talking. It's a busy restaurant. It was a loud din, everybody talking. And you could hear this beautiful male voice singing all of a sudden out of the noise of the crowd. And it's a song called "You Will Never Walk Alone." And if you ever hear Josh Groban sing that, it's hard to not get tears. But I'm listening to this and I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. And I turn around and it's an 87-year-old man singing to his wife of 60-something years on her birthday. I lost it. Because it reminded me of my dad. My dad used to do those kinds of, he didn't sing at the top of his lungs, but he would always sing to my mom and he would be very romantic all the time. I actually had to get my butt up and go over to the table and thank him, right, for doing that. But he sang it like with this beautiful baritone voice, no music accompanying him. And when he finished, the entire restaurant that was loud, like they were talking, exploded in applause. And then they brought the wife a piece of cake. And you think like about those emotions that you have around everything that happens, and you want to be tough and say, it's not going to affect me. I'm going to go out and sell houses. One swear word, bullshit. Okay. It doesn't work that way. You've heard me talk about emotions. You've heard me say that the saying about emotions, I've heard you even laugh about it. The emotions are like kids. You don't want them driving the car, but you don't want to stuff them in the trunk either. All right. Now, while that is, I love that saying. I didn't make it up. Someone told me it is so real, right? You don't want your emotions running your day, but pretending like they're not there isn't helpful either. And by stuffing them in the trunk, you're pretending like they're not there. But it's going to affect you guys. We're all going to have an effect on the emotions that come around this time of the year, whether you celebrate anything or nothing. It's the time of the year that memories come back stronger for people than any other time of the year. It's been proven by psychologists. Okay. So, Casey thinks that every time I get dressed after Thanksgiving, that Christmas threw up on me because I've got pins, I've got hats, I've got clothes that are specifically for Christmas. I've got suits that look like, it has a rewarding and anticipatory effect on me. And then as we get closer to the holidays or being around family, that's when the emotions come up. So the reason I say this is the time to remember that saying. You don't want them driving the car, and you also don't want to stuff them in the trunk. But can you use your emotions for good? Can they drive you to do more business? Can it drive you to change the patterns that you've had up till now when you have paid attention to your business effects in the year? So think about that for a minute. You maybe sometimes the emotions stop you in your tracks. All right. I think I'm from California, born and raised. When my dad used to get job transfers, totally coincidental, he could have been transferred anywhere in the world. But where was he transferred to? Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Athens, Greece. Like, think of those. And Southern California. They all have similar weather patterns. I've never ever lived in a winter area, an area that actually has more than 2 seasons, right? Northern California, ask Teresa, 2 seasons, right?
The rain threw us for a loop.
Yeah. So it's like, basically, I always like to say we have 2 seasons. They're summer and fall. That's it, right? We don't really have a spring, because as soon as spring hits, it's hot like summer. So, but then what does the effect? Like I've got a good friend in Connecticut who loves it when it snows, loves it. It's beautiful. She loves it. She loves it. I've got over 100 friends born and raised in Michigan who hate Michigan winters. I have another 50 or 60 good friends in Minnesota who hate Minnesota winters, but they're from there but they're not doing anything about it. They're not leaving. But the whole, like, when I talk to them around Christmas, they go, oh, it's a beautiful white Christmas. I can't find my car, but it's a beautiful white Christmas. It's buried out there in the snow somewhere, right? Or whatever. Lucky, what were you going to say?
Like my reason for not leaving Michigan, as much as I hate the cold weather, is you never get to see the four seasons anywhere else but in Michigan.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
that
I think
is the most beautiful thing about Michigan. So
yeah, I think
love it here
Minnesota
only
people
for
would
that reason.
Minnesota people would argue with you because they say they have all four seasons too.
I don't know. I think my state is beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you love it. So the main thing that so I want you all to be thinking about how that is you, like how that is affected by you. Here you go. There we go. And you can take that off there. Okay. So as you think about that and how it's affecting your business and how you're driving forward, this is what I really want to hear from you right now. And I don't mean, like, I have a very good friend on here who's a real estate a loan officer. Her name's Renee, but I want everybody included in this. I don't know who me is. And then there's a 408 number that I don't know who is. So what I'd love to hear from you is what is working. What have you done recently that you've been proud of? And it doesn't have to be work, something you've been proud of. Maybe you didn't slap your kid when he needed slapping, or maybe you were super loving to your significant other when you normally aren't. I don't know, but I just want a win. I want everybody to declare a win.
Hi there.
Yeah. Who is that?
Hi, it's Betty. How are you? Happy November, everybody.
Betty Fernandez. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah. Is that picture out of your modeling magazine?
Oh, well, thank you. So I am, I'm working on better management of myself.
Oh, okay.
And one of the things that I did this week, which is helping, I'm still not, doing it 90% of the time, is I downloaded a habit app on my phone.
Tell us about that.
So I'm sure most of you have heard of the Miracle Morning.
Yes.
Yes. So, he wants you to have silence and journal and do your affirmations and visualizations and read and all that good stuff. And then along with, making your contacts and sending out cards and, things like that I want to do in my day. And I'm able to customize that app and check it off during the day. And of course, it releases endorphins and makes you feel like you accomplished something in the day, because sometimes we get to the end of the day and we forget what we're supposed to focus on. Yeah. And I find that it really does help. It really does help. And so that's one of my wins. And the other win is I also got a book called The High Five Habit by Mel Robbins.
Oh, okay.
And some of you might know about the book, the 5-second rule, which she also wrote, and that was a phenomenal trick as well. But this high five habit is about going in the mirror in the morning, in the bathroom, before you start taking care of anybody else. And you look at yourself and appreciate yourself instead of breaking yourself down and, looking for all the wrinkles or gray hair or whatever. And high-fiving yourself and cheering yourself on, because we cheer everybody else on. And to be able to cheer ourselves on and say, you got this is really a great way to start the day. So that's all.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for jumping in, Betty, to get everybody going.
Thank you.
And I'll share too.
Thank you, Renee.
So excuse me. So this morning I woke up well, I was woken up by a phone call. So I usually get out of bed around 8:30. But I feel like I'm more productive when I get out of bed at 7. But I got a call around 7:15 from a review boost company, which I've been meaning to contact to boost my online presence. And so I talked to them. I got that dialed in. I paid for it. And if you haven't heard of Review Boost, it's a really great way to boost your online presence. I probably closed 3 deals last year just from online leads. 2 of them were refinances, and the other was a purchase lead that I was able to refer out to a realtor. And it's pretty inexpensive. It's like $99 a month, and then you can cancel anytime. So I'll do it for like 2-3 months, boost my online presence, cancel it, and it just has like a residual. It just lasts, and then in the next year I'll probably boost it again. But that was a win, and I've been really kind of thinking about next year, my business plan. What what do I want to do? What worked? What hasn't worked? What I wanted to do last year but didn't do. I contacted a company, and I'm going to have them professionally produce my videos. So I want to do a video a week next year. So just really kind of planning, my year for next year. But I did all of that before 8:30 this morning. So I feel good. Like you said, the endorphins, the feel like you've kind of accomplished things. And so I'm really kind of focused on next year and increasing my business. And now I'm going to go get my dog a bath. So and then hit the office again.
Nice. Well, you got everybody's curiosity up, Renee. I got the link from the online, and it's reviewboost.com. Is that the company?
Yes, and I can give you the number once I stop. I can put it in the chat box.
That's all right. I already put the link in there so people can click on it and find the company.
Yeah.
So, and do they specialize in mortgage and real estate, or do they do anything?
Anything. So they basically manage your Google business page. They'll manage your Yelp. They'll give you QR codes for people to just scan and leave you a review. They send you the links where you can send your clients. They just kind of manage and clean things up. If you have a bad review, they'll help you get rid of it. Yelp, it's really difficult to get rid of bad reviews. But like if you have a bad Google review or just a bad review online generally, they'll bury it. So they help keep your online presence healthy.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for that tip. And thank you for sharing with us about what works for you and what doesn't. So who wants to go next?
Yeah, they also, just real quick, I'm going to add to it. They also, they'll do the algorithms where someone types in like real estate in whatever city you're in, you will pop up at least in the top 2 or 3.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, well, that's great, Renee. And thanks for being on today. I appreciate it. Who else wants to go? Don't be shy. Come on. Participation.
Good morning, Rick.
Hi, Amanda.
How are you?
Good. Just before you
Good.
got on, we were talking about the beauty of the weather.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm feeling a little under the weather because of all of this change in the weather, but one of the things that I'm really proud of is that I've been really trying to increase, which I'm already very personable with all of my clients. And, I go to birthday parties and barbecues and I try to remember to send them cards. But I started, not only I deliver personally 3 gifts a year to my clients, at least my top 50. And, but I started this new thing. It's called Client Giant. And they send out 4 quarterly gifts a year to your clients as well. And since I have such a large territory, it's cut down on some of the driving for me. And it's been a really big hit. So I would recommend that to a lot of people because it is all about our relationships. And that's how we get referrals. And, so it's been really great.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Amanda,
And-
can you share that in the chat, the Client Giant?
Yeah, I definitely will.
Thank you.
This is good stuff, guys, right? Everybody's picking up a tip or two. All right. Who else wants to go on? Tell me a little bit about what's working and what's not. Go ahead, Karen. Oh,
Hi, so you were talking about, a win, something
Yeah.
that, and this was simple and it had nothing really to do with business, although it does have to do with relationships. I pledged a donation that wasn't solicited. So it was kind of spur of the moment and I did it.
nice. And how did that work for you?
Well, it made me feel good.
Well,
and
go ahead. Yeah.
and like I said, it is about relationships. So the group, I did it kind of online, and so it is in front of some people. I didn't do it secretively or anything. So it does help with, like I said, with relationships and being generous.
Yeah. And there's so much, Karen, to be said about the feeling we get about ourselves when we give. And it's regardless of whether other people know or not. It's that you get a feeling like I've done something that will help others. And whether others know about it or not is not important, because what's truly important is how you feel about you for having done it, right? That is,
Exactly. Very
that's what-
true.
yeah. And I had somebody teach me at a young age that giving is one of the most selfless and selfish things that you can do at any point in time, because it's selfish in that you feel so good about yourself that that's your win in it. And then it's selfless because you're helping somebody whether they know you are or not, right? So yeah, we used to have we could call it angel something back when I was running a real estate office, and one lady would take charge and they would get cards, long filled out cards from all these orphanages in the Bay Area. And everybody would basically say, or child services or anything, what their dream would be for a birthday, for a Christmas gift. You would be surprised how many said, I don't need anything, just make sure my brother gets this, or I don't need anything, just make sure my sister gets this. But when the people wrote it, then realtors would come from all companies, and we had these cards. They're long yellow cards, and they had a little ribbon on them. We'd hang them on the tree in our office, and our office happened to be the central point for the, it was like an angel day or something. I forget what they called it. And everybody would come in and pick one up and sign it out and say, I'll take this one. And then they had to deliver the gift a week before Christmas, either wrapped or unwrapped. And then they would, no, they weren't allowed to bring them wrapped, because we had to inspect that they were exactly what they said and it wasn't some, weirdo or anything. And then we would have a wrapping day, and then everything got delivered. And you would be surprised that realtors, we'd never heard of realtors who would never speak up at a meeting. Everybody was coming in and getting one of these. And there'd be no way in the world that the person who got them would have any idea who they were or whatever, but it really, really generated good feelings. So I love that you shared that as a win, especially because you said it was unsolicited. So good for you. Very good. And I'm not too far from you right now, Karen. I'm in Pacific Grove. So it's a beautiful, clear day, a little chilly, but definitely clear. So
I'm in Scotts Valley right now.
oh, nice, nice. All right. Thank you, Karen. Who else wants to share?
I have recently learned that, to give a little bit of context, I have almost been divorced, almost lost my house, and have dealt with a lot of stuff with the health with my children. And I'm still alive, and I'm still standing, and everybody's still breathing. But I have learned that hiding everything that you've ever been through does not do anything, especially whenever you get into situations where people are struggling. Like right now, I've got 2 listings that are about to come up, and both of them are divorce listings. One of the ex-wives is talking to me, and she asked me a question, and she was like, can I ask a personal question? And I was like, I'll answer it, to the fullest extent of me being comfortable. And she was like, okay. And she asked me a question, and I answered it as honestly as I could. And she was like, I'm so glad that I met you through my attorney, because having somebody who's got a testimony and who's got a story and came out on the other side as positive as you are is something that I have to look forward to. And it literally took my breath away, because I was like, man, how is my dirt? How is my past something that I grew from, something that somebody else can use? So I guess my win for that is, I mean, I've got the testimony, so why not use it to relate to somebody and share it? It's a gift. As weird as it sounds, it truly is a gift to other people.
Oh my God, that is such a powerful story. So I used to do classes called ASV is the key, Heather. ASV is the key. And it was authenticity, sincerity, and vulnerability. And you sharing your story, whether it had a happy ending or not, is so powerful, because people, the biggest feeling that people have is they don't want to be different than everyone else. They don't want to be different than anyone else. They want to know that what they're going through, other people have gone through. They don't want to be alone in their situation. They don't want to be alone in how their life is. So the more you share reality, right? You don't get to decide how people interpret your reality. All right. And you do get to decide at what level you can share the reality of what you've really gone through. And when people say to you, and they will, Heather, you're amazing. You are amazing. I mean, I remember meeting you the very first day, and I was instantly like, wow. And you have to remember that people are going to be, there was no P, it was ASV, authenticity, sincerity, vulnerability. ASV is the key. Is that you'd be surprised, like when I was going through lawsuits with my former company, I was broke. I'd lost my 3 homes in the divorce, and I had literally nothing except my ability to sell houses and to work hard. People would go, oh my gosh, Rick, I love reading your Facebook posts. You're leading such an incredible life. Okay. So could I be grateful for that? Yes. Could I be bitter? Yeah. I caught myself in some moments in my head saying, you don't know crap about me or what's going on. Keep your opinions to yourself. That was in my head. I never said that to anybody. Right. But our job is to live our lives the best we can and to be an example for others. Okay. So there's a coach, and if I'm offending any of you, I apologize, but his name's Bill Belichick. Okay. Bill Belichick's leading his life, and he's considered one of the top coaches in the NFL, in the National Football League. I'm not a fan, never have been, because of the way he acts on public television, as far as when he's being interviewed and everything. And I feel like, I've said this to you all, there's a saying that I heard many, many years ago, about 20 years ago, that says, to whom much is given, much is expected. All right. So now Heather's been given the blessing of trials and tribulations that she has fought through. To whom much is given, much is expected. What's expected of Heather? To help other people with the same route. All right. But when I hear like a man who's making millions of dollars to coach an athletic team, I feel like to whom much is given, much is expected, that when he's on public television being interviewed, he needs to remember that millions of kids who love football are watching and listening to him and using him as an example. That's my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong or good or bad. It's just my humble opinion. And I take that very seriously, that our jobs, each and every one of us, is to whom much is given, much is expected. What were you given? What is your gift? Now share it. It's a story, a sad story. It's a story of overcoming whatever it is. That's our job. That's what we got to do. Share our story, help people change their lives as a result. More in the last 10 years than the 18 years. I've been speaking for about 28 years, but the last 10 years, more than the first 18, because I can tell you the first 18 years I was a speaker, was all about my ego and getting noticed and people liking me. But the last 10 years, I know it's been just because I have a message. I don't care if you like me or don't like me. I care if you got a message and you can do something with it. So that's a kind of a different perspective that took a lot of my own personal growth. But in the last 10 years, I've gotten more compliments on, like, Rick, I would have had no idea that your life had that stuff in it, but thanks for being an example. And that to me is the biggest compliment in the world. Not that I loved your speech, or wow, I loved your suit. I don't care. We talked about it here the other day. Like, do I wear fancy suits because I'm looking for recognition? No, I like fancy suits. Did I used to? Yeah, I used to wear fancy suits because I wanted people to notice me. Now I don't give a damn. Notice me, I don't care. All right. That's because you got to get good with you. If you're not good with you, you're always going to be looking for someone else's approval. That was a very powerful story, Heather. And thank you for that. Where'd she go? Did she drop off or?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, there you are. Okay. You moved around on my screen. Stop that. Is it what like when you move your car, do you move around on my screen? Does your little box move around? I'm kidding. All right. Okay. Who wants to go next? Okay. The silence fell over the crowd. I know some of you are itching to say something. Come on.
Go.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi. So I've been working on hiring, growing the team, and I decided to hire another admin to kind of run the back end of things to help Mary.
Yeah.
She's actually an IT person. She is going to do all of that KV core, making it right. She's going to manage everything. So it was too much for Mary. So we decided to share it. So I'm happy about that for next year. She's working on everything for the rollout next year for our team.
Oh, Teresa, I'm so happy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was nervous about that because I'm like, I don't have the bandwidth for it, but I
Yeah.
need someone who really understands it to do it. And so
Yeah.
that was a big relief for me. So
Nice.
yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah, it's a bold move, right? One of my mentors used to say, when people would say, I can't afford an assistant, he'd say, I don't think you can afford to not have an assistant.
Yeah.
Right? Because then your business grows instrumentally. When I got my first assistant in 1991, my 11th year in the business, I said 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's all I could afford. Right?
Mhm.
But literally within a year, she was full time.
Yeah.
40 hours a week every week, because my business grew. And all he said to find is if you can get a 1.5 to 1 return, or in your first year, a 1 to 1 return, meaning everything you paid that assistant was brought back to you in business that you wouldn't have gotten if you were busy doing those admin jobs, then you're
Right.
good. Right.
Right.
And now I know that my admin, she's my right arm. She's an operations manager. She's everything all at one time.
Mhm.
We probably have a 3 to 1 return on her salary, right? Because we see what would happen without her. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
all right. Who wants to go next?
I will.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hi.
Oklahoma
So I
in
didn't
the
know what I
house.
was. Yeah. Woo-woo. So I didn't know what I was going to talk about, but my big win is Heather. Like seeing Heather grow and the way she's growing, and she's my team. She's the leader of my team, and it was like so eye-opening for me. But and I'm not even claiming a part in any of that. I'm just saying that is such a win for me to see her grasp all that and then come out with it, because we've been together for two years now, a little over 2 years, and it's to see her growth is just a huge win for me.
That's awesome to
That's
hear.
it. That's
Yeah,
it.
and Vanessa, since you're not
I
patting
freaking
yourself,
love you. Way to make me cry in Target.
So Vanessa, takes one to know one. For Heather to grow like that, she had to be surrounded by amazing people, and you are an amazing leader yourself. So thanks for being the kind of person she can grow under. I had that with a lady that's her name's Cindy Cashin. She came out of a great career at AT&T, an executive, got her real estate license, retired, and I thought she was just going to dabble in real estate since she had a retirement and a pension, and she just took off. And now she's the lead buyer specialist we have, I don't know, 10 or 11 buyers agents on the team. She's got a huge responsibility, and she just wraps her arm around it. She's funny, she's sarcastic, she's direct, she's everything to everybody. And yeah, when you see leadership like that, you're like, I'm so blessed. So good for you for recognizing Heather, because it means a lot, I'm sure. So.
Oh, thanks, Rick.
Oh my God, I didn't know you were on. Oh, hi, Cindy. It's a good
Hi
thing I
there.
didn't say crap about her, right?
No, but you're right. I am. Yeah, the sarcastic part, you've got me pinned.
All right. All those little squares that I'm losing track of. I lost Heather, and now I realized Cindy was on. I didn't think she was. Anyway. All right. Who wants to go next? A lot of wins out there. I know several of you personally, and I know you're not declaring your wins. So. Okay. Well, the main point for today was notice what's working. All right. No, don't play around with these last 56 days, because the only gift really that you can depend on for your entire life is time. It's the greatest gift. And if you look at these next 56 days and say, how will I change them? And it's actually, if you think about it, it's about 58 days until we get to January 3rd, which is the day everybody goes back to work after New Year's Day. I mean, after New Year's Eve, right? For the most part. January 1st is always a lull to me, right? I'm not the guy who's going to sit on the couch and watch college football or those kinds of things. I'm probably going to do things, but usually we're wrapping up, finalizing, putting a bow around our goals for the year. And we always pick a name for ourselves, a word for ourselves that's our context for the following year, right? And those are really, really important words. My word for this year was flourish. My wife's word for this year was a sort of a hyphenated word, unapologetically me. And there's like those words that you set as a context for your following year. And I'm going to say this again on another call, but I wanted you guys to get a head start. What if you started thinking about what's your word for next year? And that would bring your intellect back in, your thinking, and it's overcoming any emotions that stop you. Remember, all emotions are good. They're not good, bad, right, or wrong. It's really how you work with them. They're effective as you can make them be. So I didn't mean to use the word good, but the word effective, as long as you use them in an effective manner to help you. So you can use that idea to take the rest of this time to, contact more people and say, how have you been over the last year and a half? How are you feeling? How are you health-wise? You can use it, especially in the month of November. We're still 3 weeks from Thanksgiving. You can call and say, I'm very grateful that I know you. I'm grateful for your contribution in my life. How are things? So conversations and on purpose, and, just sort of silent the voices is what I mean. Make them go quiet by intellectually saying, I'm going to quiet those voices. Many of you have shared stories with me that have been very effective for me in my life, because I know things about you that have driven me in my moments. So yeah, and collaborate more, guys. This is a time of collaboration, getting in contact with other real estate agents, seeing if you can lift them up, and maybe they'll surprise you and lift you up. Who knows? So a lot we can be doing as we enter into these last crazy 2 months of the year, so that we can make a difference for ourselves. You make a difference for yourself, guess who else gets affected? Your loved ones, because they see you being incredible, and then they say, I want to be more like her or him or he or she or them or they. Okay, so let's go out there and kill it. Have an amazing weekend. I'm looking forward to a friend of mine is going to come over here and cook Thanksgiving dinner for us, and I'm super excited about that because he's an amazing chef. I'm looking forward to that, but I got a lot to do in the next 3 weeks before they do that meal. So let's go out and kill it. All right. Okay, everybody. Remember to copy the chat or click on all the links in the chat right now. If you just click on the links, they'll open in your computer and then they won't be gone for good. Or you can just press the three little dots to the right on the word chat, and you can click copy if you're on your computer. So no, our next call, by the way, is 2 weeks from today. It's the first and third Fridays, Amanda. So it will be, what is today, the 5th, the 12th, the 19th will be the next call. It'll be the Friday before the one after Thanksgiving. So first and third Fridays, I hope you guys stay on and keep coming. And check your junk, Carla England, junk, I didn't mean that. I check your, what do you call that? in your computer, your junk mail in your computer, because Carla found hers. Yeah.
Spam.
See, made you laugh, Heather. All right. Love you guys. Have a great day. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.